Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to BB's Customs. I'm Rich, and today we're going to be sorting out some of this wiring. Okay, so the wiring I'm looking at in particular is from the back light at the moment. So I've attached this onto the string arm and I have routed the lead along here, up behind all of this, and it is poking out at the top of here. Now what I've done in the first place is, so this was the light which came in the light housing. It's cheap crap. It's only got one illumination setting, so it was either as if you had your brake light on or it was off. So it's pretty useless really. So I bin that off, and inside here I fit the existing light fitting from the original tail light. So I cut the end off, soldered on some new wires, and brought these all the way along up here, nice and long, up to where it's going to meet the connector, which is this one here. But this is far too long, so we need to trim all this down and resolder everything so that it meets up to this. Now, as with any wiring on a bike, it's a horrible sticky mess once you take all the tape off. Now, looking at it, I'm not the first person to have a bash at doing some rewiring on this thing, because if you look at this bit here, where this crimp is, just change the focus a bit, zoom you right in. So this little crimp here, that shouldn't be like that. That's where someone has either caught a wire or didn't like the earth, so they crimped it to a common one. So that's the earth for the two indicators and the brake light. If you follow that along, oh, there's another crimp there where it goes back in to two earths. And if we follow it even further down here, oh, it's crimped again back into three. So I have no idea what's happened. Maybe the previous owner, the wiring was shot or something, and he managed to get a new tail light or something and bodged it back in. But luckily, most of this is going to get all cut out, so I don't have to worry about it. And then I'll take this tape off down here and have a better look at that to see what I can do to sort that out. So for now, we're going to ignore that, and we are going to solder this back on to the end of here, because that is the fitting for the brake light. Okay, so the first thing you've got to do when you're doing any wiring is to prepare the ends of your wires. So this is the connector I took off the brake light. I've stripped and tinned the ends of these. I have stripped the ends of the wires which need to be attached onto it. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to tin these, and then we'll solder all of this together. Okay, so what I like to do is get your wire nicely twisted, not too tight but enough that it keeps it all together. Get a little ball of solder on the end of your soldering iron like that, and just starting at the bottom, just work your way up until it all seeps through. So you get a nice little bead of solder on the end of your wire. So do that to all three. Okay, so all the wires now have a nice little blob of solder on them. So what we're going to do is load up the soldering iron again, get rid of that, and we are going to solder the earth to the earth. We'll place them next to each other like this, melt the solder and just let it flow together. that. And then these two, don't really matter which way around they go because, or do they? Ooh, do they? Hang on, we'll have a quick check. Bear with me a sec. Okay, so we're back on and I figured out what I need to do. So in order to get the backlight to illuminate with just the ignition on, should be just touch one of these together. No, it must be that one. There, no. There, no. No. Oh, knob. It does up if you plug it in, doesn't it? Right, let's plug that in there. Okay, so that's on. So now, that backlight is lit. So that goes onto there. And then if I hook these two up onto there, we've got no backlight until I press the brake, which is exactly what we want. Now, which one's brighter? That one's brighter, so that's the brake. So those two go together, and these two go together. So flick the ignition off. We'll solder them up to get them so they can't escape me anymore. If I turn the ignition on, bring you down so you can see. So the light is there. If I turn the ignition on, that should light up like that, and then foot on the brake, it's nice and bright. Perfect. Okay, so obviously you can't just leave that like that, so I have slipped on here before we started some nice bits of heat shrink, which hopefully will fit over both the wires. So we'll slip these up and over these. Oops. Like that. So there's one. Like that. And then to shrink this all down, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tickle with the soldering iron. Now, a lot of people will tell you not to do this because it's dangerous. You might burn things, but it's not as if you're holding it on there for ages. It's probably not best practice. If you had a heat gun, that would be better. But this will do for now. Like that. So that is all nice and safe now. Now what I've also got is, hopefully, if it's not fallen down in there too far, which I think it has, so never mind. This long tube, which I put all of this in, is also heat shrink, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a rub as well, just on the end for now, to seal it all up. And then I'll do the rest of it later on when I get a heat gun. Like that, just to narrow that down a little bit. Right, so the next task is to sort out the rest of all of this crap, which I shall do off camera because it's going to be exactly the same as this. It's not very exciting, so I'll trim all of this down and then it'll all be nice and able to tuck up into my electrical box. The backlight will all be wired in and we'll all be good. Okay, so now we have a much shorter wiring loom on here. I still need to cut down these 2 wires to bring them down to about there. But then that's going to be all neat and tidy inside here. The backlight is all wired up and ready, so I'm pleased with that. If I move you around here for a little. So, it's not a very exciting video, I know, compared to the last couple, but it's these little bits like this which are going to be coming fairly often, I'm afraid, because it's coming towards the end of the build process. I won't show any more electrics because they're all the same. I shall get the indicators and the rear end all sorted before the next episode. The next episode I hope will be getting the headlight sorted. I have ordered the paint ready for the exhaust, so that will be coming soon, so there will be a video coming up with painting and wrapping that. Then it's the tank, and then we're pretty close to the end, I think. I hope it's been of some sort of help to you. Let me know if there's anything particularly you want me to go over, or if you'd like to see almost like a special episode, I guess. Then I'm more than happy to run through things with you. Thank you very much for the continued support. I know it's been a while in between the last couple of videos, but you know, with a little one on the way, I've got a lot going on with all this COVID-19 thing as well, so thanks for your patience with that. I hope you're staying safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall catch you next time. Cheers.